All right. Happy Wednesday, everyone. We're super excited that you're joining us today. We've got another incredible workshop Wednesday set up for you. And we have some incredible ladies that we want to introduce you to. If you have not met them yet, let us be the first to introduce you. They come to you guys from the Academy of Home Staging and Design. These ladies are fantastic, and we want to make sure that you have those proper introductions, get to know them a little bit for the next 30 minutes. And that is Miss Wanda and Kim. How are you ladies today?
Fantastic.
We're super excited to be here.
Well, we cannot wait to see you guys in person in just a few, literally 2 weekends from now. We're going to be in the same room here in Dallas at the Home Staging and Real Estate Summit. And before that, I want to get to know and at least introduce you guys to our incredible audience and get to know your company a little bit more. So I'm just going to pass it to you ladies. Tell us a little bit about the Academy and how you guys even thought of the Academy and what it does today for people wanting to know more about our industry.
Kim,
Awesome.
and then I'll
Go ahead. Okay. The Academy has been around since 2006 and really kind of was born out of what we saw as necessity, because there wasn't anything that seemed to have a lot of hands-on exercises where people really they could attend live, but they weren't doing a lot of hands-on exercises. So we always thought that if you're learning a visual field, what better way to do it than actually doing it? So we go out into the field multiple times in our home staging business startup courses and our interior design business startup courses, and practice space planning and actually putting design plans together and picking paint colors and everything that you need to do for your home staging and interior design clients to be successful. And so we kind of developed the program, and today we have all kinds of new things happening with virtual Spanish courses, and we have regular hybrid courses where you take some of it online and some of it in person. We also have our live programs. Next week, Wanda is teaching in Los Angeles, our interior design program, and it's going to be fabulous. We go to the Pacific Design Center and visit all kinds of vendors and learn new trends and how everything works and how you would work with a client and step by step and all of that.
So I think what I'd like to add is, when you come to the Academy, you're learning from people that are leaders in the industry. I've been in the home staging and design business for over 20 years. And during that time, I was lucky enough to be the interior design host on HGTV's 24-Hour Design for 4 seasons and TLC's Homemade Simple for 6 seasons. And then I met Kim. And when I met Kim, she was already a very successful stager in Los Angeles. And that's really what I liked about when I was doing my research of what am I going to do next after the clap, after being on television. I also had my own interior design business. So I contacted Kim. I said, let's partner together. I'll bring the interior design part to your company, Style My Space, which is her very successful staging company. So we started there, and then the Academy was already doing the staging classes. And just like the business, I said, let's expand it and let's do interior design. And I think with Kim and we have such a great team of people that work with us. We are visionaries. We see to the future. Like even during this time with COVID, we had to pivot. We had to say, okay, now what? What I love about our live classes is that you get to meet my clients, you get to meet my vendors. We go in and we set up your counts at the design showrooms in Los Angeles, like LA Mart and the Pacific Design Center. So we really kind of give you all of that. And you also kind of leave with clients already, because the one thing that we are starting to introduce is you get to design for a real client in the classroom. And the client decides who has the best design. And they hire them at the end of the day. So I think that's what sets us apart, is you're learning from people who've actually been successful in the industry. So
no doubt about it. And you guys have all of those facets when it comes to going to market, also hands-on, right? And now getting into Spanish, getting into, if you have to learn online, at least we have some solutions for you as well. And bringing both of those design elements as well as staging successful companies working together. And I think it's huge. So tell us, who is home staging perfect for? I mean, what do the students look like?
We have a broad spectrum. We have younger people coming in now, especially with the virtual. They have a great affinity for learning some of it online and then having the rest of the portions taught live, so that they're going through the exercises and getting the feedback and coaching and mentoring that we're famous for. And also, we have people that are our age just getting into the business, and it's fantastic. People with real estate backgrounds come in because they want to expand their client base, especially with interior design. Maybe they want to get in working with investors. And that's a great way to start off, helping them, and then also maybe doing all of it, all encompassing, advising them on the flip, and then staging the flip and selling the property, finding the property, all of that. We have a lot of people who are interested in the home staging aspect, just in the interior design, just for their own personal interest. But a lot of people that come to us because we're business startup come to us to actually start a career and be serious in the industry. But again, a lot of special interest as well.
And that's a really good point. And Wanda, would you say that the people that who makes the best business owners? Because it's always this within our industry, like, should I just focus on the staging and the service delivery? And I really didn't see myself as a business owner, because we get to do the stuff that's not so fun. Many times the business owner is in the office behind the desk doing, whatever they need to do, sealing deals, and not out in the field. So whenever you think about the business owner versus the one that's actually providing service, do you guys, what's ideal with those different buckets, so to speak?
It's really funny, because initially we would get, the most hesitation we would get would be from, let's say, someone who's a little bit older and has been a stay-at-home mom, right? And they've had to be the ones that we kind of say, don't be afraid, like, because everything that you've done to run your household is gonna come in handy. So what I find from most of our graduates, whatever you bring to the table is going to help you in your business. If you're coming from corporate America and you've always worked for someone else, and you know what it is to work hard for someone else, it's just kind of transitioning that and working hard for yourself, right? And then if you've never had any business experience, whatever it is that's bringing you to the table, what I love about what we do, we try to keep the classes very intimate. We normally don't have any more than like 9 or 10 students, and we're able to coach them right there and say, okay, so what do you bring to the table? What is it that brought you to design? And we specialize and kind of like focus in on that and say, all right, in every situation, even with me and Kim, I know what I'm really good at and I know what I'm really bad at. And so we're lucky enough that we kind of help each other out. I'm not organized at all and she's super organized. So great. Then I'm going to let her do the organizing, So we kind of really kind of listen to what our students, what their needs are and what they're good at. And what I do find 99% of the time is the thing that they're best at is that they have a great eye. And so that's like, when you have a good eye, it's kind of like, well, you're coming in on top. The rest we can learn, so that's kind of what I find.
And Kim, when people say the business does take off, right? They've have this hobby, they've been told they're good at something. They have an innate, just skill set. And then, of course, they're learning. What do you see that some of the pitfalls that staging companies get into whenever they do start having a little bit of success? Are you guys keeping up with your students and helping them, navigate once they do actually get in business?
Absolutely. Our coaching programs are phenomenal. Wanda spends an immense amount of time with our graduates in helping them and moving them forward. We actually say on our website that it's basically like having a business partner without them being on payroll, because that's how kind of our coaching programs are designed and developed. I would say probably, and as a home stager owning a home staging company, the biggest thing I do see is pricing, and we hear it over and over again in the industry. Always value yourself, value your time. I don't think it's necessary to undercut all of the other stagers to get the business, especially if you're feeling maybe if you're new and you're not as confident. We always try to teach people the proper way to price and to value themselves and not to give things away for free or for low price. Very hard to develop your brand into, say, a luxury brand or into charging more higher prices once you started having clientele that are expecting lower prices. So just from a staging point, that's where I would see probably the biggest pitfalls. In Los Angeles, it's really kind of interesting that the price is kind of falling through through the floor here a little bit. But as soon as that real estate market turns around again and they need a lot more help, it'll go right back up.
Yeah, that's great. Great information there. And, when you think about what it takes to not only be a stager, get into design, but also be that business owner, you're probably working with the majority of people that are going to go into owning their own business. And what other advice could you guys give them on proper training, proper education right from the beginning?
I mean, I think it's key, and Kim talked about pricing, and I think that's one of the most the scariest part is closing that deal and asking for what you're worth, right? So when you're educated and you pay for the education, I always say you've paid full price for your education to learn all of the basics. So why aren't you asking full price? We teach you knowing your market, knowing your value, honoring the industry, and so much of the basic information. There was a time, and I think you probably already know this and you've experienced it, where we were working with realtors and they would come back and say, well, my cousin's son or daughter wants to do this as a hobby and I want to give them that opportunity. And what they discovered was, you're bringing inexperienced people that have no idea how to price, no idea how to stage properly. When you leave the academy, we teach you how to start making money within the first 30 days of your business. When you're just going at it and shooting in the dark, you're not. We have had so many students come in after they've tried to do the business without the education. And it's kind of like now they're drowning. So now we have to help them first, survive and try to get out of the red and then start their business. It's really such a backwards way of doing things. And you see this in this industry and not others. Like you don't see a doctor trying to have surgery before they're completely educated, right? So it's kind of weird when I run into that. And what I do love is that the realtors who have done that in the past, they don't want to do that anymore because they realize it also affects their bottom line, right? So things that look hodgepodge aren't selling for the value that it could be. Our whole motto is, we want to make sure that we raise the level of the home that's for sale, right? We want to make sure it looks something that the market is dying to have and is willing to pay more for. So, it's the biggest advice I give to anyone that's interested in the industry is to do your research and get educated. Know what to price. Then you go into each situation as an expert and not always rely on learning on the field. In any business, you're going to learn when you start your business. However, give yourself every advantage and learn as much as you can and get educated.
And you know what I think a lot of people don't realize, Jana, going to Summit, taking educational classes, expanding your horizons, that's all tax deductible. If you're a business owner, your education and everything that you do to better yourself in the industry is typically a tax deduction. I mean, talk to your tax professional, but generally anything that you're doing to improve your skill set to keep yourself in business is a tax deduction.
And that's a really good point. It is continuing education, and how much does the real estate industry, which we're part of, right? How much do they value initial training as well as education? In fact, it's required. And so here we are in an unlicensed industry now, not talking interior design, but we know there's so much going on to learning how to run a business. Then you think about the changing environment, and we're really in this weird scenario where people are bypassing home staging because of the market, and then we've had inflation. So now we're running into staging companies that are having some challenges with, they're facing raising prices because, inventory shortages, all of those things. But then again, people are not necessarily choosing the staging route for the majority of the time. And so we're just in an interesting season, that much more leaning into continuing education, leaning in to collaboration and understanding what other staging companies are doing to survive and have some great options. And ladies, what is the best way people can contact you? And what are some upcoming classes that you guys have going on? And then, of course, they can meet you in person in just a couple of weeks here at Summit.
I'm really excited about some of the classes that we have coming up that are launching in 2022. One of the big demographics that we have is we have a lot of Latinos taking the class. And what I've noticed is, because I'm fluent in Spanish, is that during my breaks, they'll text me and say, I have a couple of extra questions. And I'm always like so in awe because like their English is their second language, and they're putting it all out there to learn as much as they can. So I was like translating some of the stuff for them in Spanish, and then I was like, hello, why don't we offer this? Right? Here I am able to speak Spanish, why not? So we just finished translating both manuals to Spanish, and I like to call it a bilingual class because Spanish is not my first language. Even though I'm fluent, I completely understand it, but there are times where I'm like, how do you say this word, right? So we're calling it bilingual classes. We also are doing some really cool hybrid classes where they're able to take the class online, and then we interact with them during the class, and then after the class we have some one-on-one time. So we have some really cool classes coming up. Kim, I'll let you tell everybody how they can contact us, and if you have anything further to add with that.
Sure. One other thing I'd like to add is that Wanda is actually, students can train one-on-one with her. That's a whole new program as well, and that's ready to go. So our website is the Academy of Home Staging and Design.com, and our phone number is 800-574-5576, and certainly call us anytime. Again, we have the interior design next week, and if anyone mentions that they saw us on Jana's introduction here, we will take $500 off. If you're interested, please give us a call, and otherwise we'll meet you at Summit next week.
Well, I love it. I can't wait. You guys are going to definitely be there and be sharing and collaborating with us. We're so excited to welcome you to the HSRE family and, just learning, sharing, and growing together. Because if we go this alone, I mean, I don't want to have a fear that our industry kind of takes a back seat. So I think it's time to put on the gas, collaborate with others, companies working together, and that is the absolute best way to stay relevant in this changing market. And I love that you guys are bilingual. I love it. We absolutely love Mexico, and we've got some connections there. In fact, Elena Cardone, our keynote, is in Mexico right now with her building that real estate team. So there are so many collaborations that we are just meeting right people, getting in the right rooms, and we cannot stay stagnant. So get your training, everyone. Contact the ladies. They are here for you. And definitely get your ticket to Summit. We're going to be talking everything from short-term rental, property styling, staging, design, real estate. It's going to be great. So I can't wait to see y'all soon, and I hope you guys have a great day.
Thank
you. Thank you, Jana. Bye, everyone.